The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Tokucast Reviews.
Yes. I believe this is episode 123 or 4.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
0.7.
This week we're just doing a couple of movies because we are getting closer to the end of the year. So we're sort of spacing things out a little bit more. But this time we're going back and doing the Build, Be the One, and Zio over Quartzer movies.
Let's get this over with.
We're gonna do this in chronological order.
Okay.
So we're gonna talk about the Be the One movie first. This movie starts out really good.
I'll give you that.
And then it does what the series does and builds on itself.
No pun intended.
No, pun intended, because it just builds all over itself and just ruins itself.
It did not lay a good enough foundation.
No, weirdly enough, the foundation enough in this movie is good. It's just bad. The ending of this movie is full of disappointment. Because it just turns into the build show and it's not great. But I will say that you can really split this movie in half.
Yeah, I can give you that too.
That first half where it's like, once again, it's one of those things where Bill was just like a political thing with sci-fi sprinkled into it.
Yeah.
Without having to go with aliens and into space and shit. It would be great. But unfortunately, this movie is still what Build the series is. Because the three new governors, which happened in the show, all turned out to be the same race that Evolt is from. So they've been there for somehow. But it has one of my favorite scenes of just like any Rider movie. That scene where he's like on top of the van and everybody's like destroyed Build after he says that the Kamen Riders are the reason that everything is going wrong.
Yeah.
And he like takes everybody over. And then that whole scene is silent as they're walking away. And it's such a large group of people. It's so well shot because you're that far just to see how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Build is out there defending some people from, some girl and her kid brother from two Smashes who were attacking them for some odd reason because they're not explained.
Of course not.
And seeing all the people he's in the middle of that cross section and all the people are coming at him. Mm-hmm. And once again, it's still quiet. And then like all the sound comes in as they start rushing towards him. Felt like some 28 Days Later shit.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know if I'd call it like the best scene in Kamen Rider.
No, I'm talking about the scene
favorite.
where from the van. I thought that was just really well done because it was just so eerie.
Yeah, I'm referring to that as well. I don't know. Just this movie could not. I think it's because it's Build, but even when it was good, it still Build.
Because you still had to deal with Gintoku and Grease being themselves. Although he did have that funny moment when what's his face came back and gave them back their belts and Gintoku bowed down first. I thought that was the funniest thing he's done in this entire show.
I think asking for a power-up is still top tier funny because
I'm talking about
to ask.
More for Gintoku, not Grease. Because Grease is about towards him. But what else was good before we get to the bad? We're still out of half of this movie.
I don't think there was anything else good.
The dogs.
Yeah, the dogs.
I was sitting here like I've never related to him more in my entire life. Being chased by an army of mind-controlled people, and there are two dogs here that are very cute. He's like, oh my god, adorable. It goes to take a picture, and then he runs away, and he looks up, and the people are just I also really like just seeing him run away from them.
I mean, yeah.
Running through all the buildings and everything, just do a little parkour.
It is nice to see. That is an interesting change of pace for a writer.
Yeah. Where he's the legitimate bad guy throughout most of this. And then Banjo gets captured, and that's when the movie gets awful.
Remember the Tales game we hate because of forced heterosexuality?
Oh boy! Tales of Graces.
You want to talk about some forced homosexuality here? It's a little bit. Like, I see the chemistry between the two characters, but at this point I feel like they're playing into it too much.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
They're it's starting to feel forced.
Like, if you're not gonna do it,
Just don't bother.
yeah, then you're just boring.
Then you're just O's. I know.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. No, I specifically picked O's for a reason.
Yeah. But, yeah, the second half of this movie, we're just like, we're gonna go ahead and try to destroy the Earth. For
Of course.
reasons. And the bad guy had potential. Once again, if he was
Isn't
just...
that the word we used a lot in the build review?
Pretty much. If he was
Potential.
just a politician who, like, mind control people through the use of a device or something, that could have been pretty top tier.
I would have been okay if he was an alien. He could have just been a different alien and stayed a politician. Don't give a shit.
But no, Evolt knew they were there the entire time, and then
Nope,
Evolt
but
decides to...
M. Bison, you can hear him facepalm in the background.
And then Evolt just decides to save Bill because... I warned you.
I'm the only one who gets to kill him.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, oh my god. I just couldn't care anymore. The whole Vernage thing coming back when Misora was mind controlled, and Sala once again showing off the fight scenes that she should have had throughout this entire show, like she did in Ultraman Victory, or Ginga S rather.
We just move on.
It's such wasted potential. I'm trying to get before we get to the awful. I want to stay here for a second.
You want to stay where it's bad before we get to the awful?
Yeah, because it's like there are things in this movie I like, but it's just once again build. So,
Be the one. Why did they choose that title?
can we just talk about that? Because it happens next time too. It also happens 01. Stop naming your movies after the song of the opening.
Thank you. Why?
There's no point to it.
Like, titles need to be a reference to what is happening in the plot.
Yeah. What does Over Quartzer have to do with a plot?
I don't-
What does Be the One have to do with a plot? God, the Build movie is just disappointing. It has promise. That, like, if you watch it just as the first half, great. But then Kamen Rider Blood comes in, Banjos gets mind controlled, and then next thing you know, a whole bunch of BS happens, and Sento and he decide to be heterosexual life partners or something. I don't know. Ugh.
It's not a good movie.
No.
No.
It's more not a good movie because of disappointment. Not so much in Over Quartzer, which we're going to talk about right now. It was great seeing Krim back for the couple of minutes he was in this movie. Because I just think, Chris Pratt was just great.
But
This movie is garbage.
that's insulting garbage.
It doesn't really have a good enough plot to hold itself.
You really... I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this. I can't believe you disrespected garbage that much.
But yeah, I'm just looking at this movie like it's supposed to be, another big Heisei celebration thing. And I know that the Reiwa era started in this movie because they mentioned that in the show proper. Actually, this is the first one that the next rider shows up first.
Oh, yeah.
01 shows up at the very beginning of this movie. With Waz saying, Iwai, the new era of the Reiwa is here. With the new Kamen Rider in 01.
And 01's just thinking into himself, you may have wondered how I got here.
Actually, fun fact,
That's
because they did not want to show the next rider to all those people, they actually used Kakaider 01 to actually make sense with them saying the name. They used Kakaider 01 suit instead of 01 suit for that. So just a little trivia about this movie. And that's about all that's interesting about it.
The more you know, the less you watch. Get the fuck out of here.
It's
Run.
alternate timelines with another Tokiwa Soga from the future. And these other Heisei riders that aren't Heisei riders, but are still Heisei riders in terms of time. Because we got Black RX, the Amazons, and the 3 movies.
I wonder if this is sharp enough to penetrate my
It isn't a try. Yeah. The plot of this movie is really nonsensical. We're going to try and stop you from getting the drive powers. This is where they get the drive powers. So you can't become king in the future. And so alternate timeline stuff starts to happen. And then Lost dies, but oh no, he doesn't. But all the other Heisei riders are here. They keep saying the word Heisei that it just loses meaning. The Heisei riders mean nothing.
Long live Reiwa.
Pretty much.
For anybody who gets this reference, long may he reign.
The Zio movie is
Let
just...
me know in the comments.
The Zio is just... The show, and then the movie. Overcourt's just bad.
Jacob pointed at me like he got the reference, but I don't think he gets the reference.
Overcourt's is bad. Overcourt's is really bad. I hate this movie.
It's not... Well, no shit.
I
It's
do
Zio.
like the Oma form, though.
That's fair.
That
but
is a
it's
very
Zio.
cool form. Also, it's broken. But then again, Oma's sort of broken.
It's not our first fucking broken Kamen Rider.
No.
At least this time it's just a movie form.
It does have, it does have like some cool scenes though, where like all those giant robots are out there and Soku just up in the air and speeds time up on them so they rust.
Because I know Ex-Aid, Kabuto, Kuga would all like word with you.
It's true. But I just thought that was just like, it had some cool ideas. It just had really, really bad execution because I think of the show that it was in. But yeah, I think that was my favorite scene of him just speeding up time on things. I don't like this movie.
I don't like either of these movies.
I don't like either of these movies either.
I don't like either of these writers.
One because of disappointment, the other because of Zia. Unfortunately, it was going to be bad. But yeah.
Don't watch these movies. Don't bother.
Watch the first half of the Build one,
and then
don't
stop.
watch the rest of it.
Just turn it off.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Let
us know what you think in the comments down below.
I'm so happy the next time we're going to be doing a Rider movie is going to be 01s.
That's when to watch it.
And Realize is very good.
But, as always, let us know what you think in the comments down below. We are still taking ideas for Toku Talks and stuff like that, as always. Follow us on all of the things. We appreciate your support. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.